Okay, so we've been having some issues at cleveland.com trying to get our heads lined up at the same height. So that's Tim, I'm Doug, and that's Bill. And Bill's a giant. But now we're going to come together to talk about linebackers. So we only have one mic and we have a long string. So we're here to talk about how good the Ohio State linebackers might be. We talked to Dante-Booker and Jerome Baker today. Chris-Worley, the other guy there. I think they could be as good as the Ohio State defensive line that is being called maybe the best defensive line in the country. Tim, you made the point, maybe not as deep, but those three starters I think are all NFL guys, and I think there is some star power in that group. How good could these linebackers be?
I think they'd be as good as any linebacker trio that Urban's had since he's been at Ohio State. I mean, we talked about that trio with Josh Perry, Raekwon McMillan, and Darren Lee together. But in this group, I see a lot of similarities, especially with Jerome Baker's emergence last year as really being sort of the playmaker of this defense. And his emergence kind of came about a little bit in a funny way because he emerged when Dante-Booker went down, and now they're together with Chris-Worley. So I like the dynamic, and may not be as deep as the defensive line like you were saying, but as far as top-heavy talent, as far as starters go, pretty comparable, I think.
Three NFL guys, I think, and you have a Baker theory of evolution of the linebackers.
Do you think Baker's good?
I think Baker's good. I think he's borderline All-American quality.
I think he's good. You think he's good. Last year, he couldn't beat out Chris-Worley and Dante-Booker. Worley and Booker were the starters at outside linebacker, holding off Jerome Baker in a position battle at the Sam and Will spot. So they're at least as good as Jerome Baker. And if you think Jerome Baker's a star, then you should think Chris-Worley and Dante-Booker are stars. That's the Jerome Baker theory.
That's a pretty simple theory, but it makes a lot of sense. So that's what we're talking about here. And I think a lot of it, now Baker's kind of the known quantity. I think Worley's a known quantity. I think Dante-Booker is maybe as talented and is as good of a football player. This is Mr. Ohio football. Yep. As good of a football player as basically anybody on this team. He just got hurt, and now he's back. Tim, Bill, Doug, read cleveland.com.